My beloved child, do not wait until you have entered a life that has been drained dry to suddenly realize that it was my voice quietly calling you all along. For whoever walks far from the light will find the darkness within slowly growing, as Scripture once reminded. Whoever stays far from me withers on their own. I do not say this to frighten you, but so that you may see that emptiness does not arrive in a single moment. It begins from the very time you think you can walk by yourself without me. There are stretches of silence in the soul, not because I have abandoned you, but because you yourself have choked the breath of grace within. There are long nights when you feel as though you have been forsaken, but in truth, they are only the moments when you are tasting the consequences of having wandered too far from my embrace. And there are voids that seem invisible, yet they are like the tolling of a bell, gently warning that your soul is in need of returning to the true source of life. I know that, deep within, you do not want to live a life in which you keep walking without knowing where you are going. You have tried to fill the emptiness with all kinds of false lights, success, praise, amusements that last only a few hours. Yet after all of that, you return to yourself and realize that the most frightening thing is not the darkness outside, but the growing desolation within. I never stop calling you, but you must dare to stop and be still if you are to hear me. I see what you hide beneath your strong exterior: weariness, instability, a sense of being lost, and at times feeling like a stranger standing outside your own life. That emptiness is not a punishment I hurl down on you. It is the sign of a soul that has grown parched because it has strayed from its source. When the heart no longer turns toward me, it slowly closes in on itself and grows heavy, not because I have gone away, but because you have withdrawn yourself from the love that has always been yours. I do not want to see you hit rock bottom before you realize how many chances to return you have let pass by. Each day I still wait, still place before you small signs that are gentle yet strong enough to stir you. An event that makes you stop in your tracks, a word from someone that lingers in your thoughts, or a quiet moment amid the busyness that makes you realize you have been exhausted for far too long. All of these are ways I am trying to reach your heart, even when you think I am silent. It is not that I have stopped speaking, but that you have allowed the world to grow so loud that you can no longer hear my voice. The noise of ambition, praise, busyness, and even your own self-confidence has drowned out my call, which is as gentle as a breath. I still seek you through unexpected events, through a pain that temporarily leaves you speechless, through a fleeting moment when your soul trembles for no clear reason. Yet many, though they feel that stirring clearly, choose to bury it beneath work, entertainment, fleeting relationships, or schedules packed so tight that they no longer have to face themselves. And each time you ignore my invitation to return, you take one more step away from the true source of life, even if outwardly everything still looks perfectly fine. This refusal to listen, my child, is not a neutral choice. It is the seed of the emptiness that you yourself will have to face later. My child, there are moments when I stand right beside you, and yet you still imagine that I am far away, not because I have stepped back, but because your heart has been filled to the brim with other voices, louder than mine. I see how you let your thoughts scatter in confusion like a flock of birds in a storm, until you can no longer recognize which voice is my gentle call. You call on me, but then you chase after the noise of ambition, of praise that helps you forget for a moment the real emptiness inside. I do not reproach you, but I grieve when I see you, weighing your own soul down simply because you are afraid of the silence necessary to hear me. Even when you feel confused, I am close enough to whisper into your soul, "Be still, and know that I am God," and you will see that it is precisely in that stillness that you rediscover the path you have been losing for so long. Do you know why you often think I am silent? It is not that I have ceased to speak, but that you have allowed your soul to be wrapped in the many layers of noise that modern life brings, unending plans, goals that exhaust you, fleeting pleasures that you mistake for true happiness. Pride does not enter your heart like a roar, but like the subtle feeling that you can manage everything on your own and do not need me. You chase after what glitters, and with each step you take in that chase, you unwittingly push my voice further away. Your busyness is not in itself wrong, but it has taken up all the space I long to use to console and teach you. I want to remind you that even the prophet Elijah, when he sought me, did not find me in the strong wind, nor in the earthquake, nor in the fire, but in the gentle, whispering breeze. You can only hear my voice when you know how to stop. Remember the story of the boy Samuel who slept in the temple. Though he was young and unfamiliar with my voice, his soul was quiet enough to recognize that this call was not from another human being, and he responded, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." In those days there was no noise of crowded cities, none of the overwhelming concerns that surround you now. Yet that is not why Samuel could hear me. He heard me because he preserved within his heart a space that was kept for me. It is the same for you if you allow your soul to be enclosed by the urgent voices of life. My voice will become very small and easily forgotten. But if you are willing to gently close the doors on what distracts you, you will begin to hear the words I have long been trying to say to you. And even if it is only a whisper, it will be enough to lead you into a new life. My dear child, I do not blame you for having let your heart become so noisy, for I know the world is always trying to pull you far away. Yet I invite you to return by taking small steps, a minute of stillness, a simple prayer, a moment when you dare to admit that you are weak and in need of me. When you choose silence before me, you are reopening the door that you once unknowingly slammed shut. I want to rush in not to question you, but to heal you, so that you may see that your heart is still soft enough to receive the peace you thought you had lost. And in that homecoming you will finally understand what you have misunderstood for so long. I have never been far from you. You have simply been listening to too many other voices and have forgotten the voice of the one who loves you most. As you begin to step out of the noise, you will discover something deeper, that it was precisely that noise which left within you such vast empty spaces that you cannot explain. There are nights when you feel as if your heart has been drained dry, not because you lack anything on the outside, but because I have been absent from within for far too long. That emptiness does not descend all at once. It is slowly nurtured each time you let other voices occupy the place that rightfully belongs to me. And then, at some point, you find yourself asking why you are still so tired despite having everything that is the signal, urging you to pause and look back. My child, when my voice has been muted in your life, your soul will begin to thirst in a quiet, hidden way, and it is that very thirst that will lead you toward a deeper truth I long for you to see. There are moments in life when you suddenly sense that your heart is like a courtyard after the rain, cold, wet, and empty, even while everything around you still moves as normal. That feeling does not come from outside. It is born from a deep place where your soul has not been warmed by my love for a long time. Many think that such barrenness is simply natural in a busy life, but in truth it is like a house kept closed for too long, where the air has become stifling. When you keep me at the margins of your heart, light cannot pour in, and a quiet fatigue begins to spread through your soul. I do not create that emptiness to punish you. It is the gentle yet very real consequence of living far from the source of life. And if you dare to look directly at that sense of lack, it will become a gentle reminder that your soul is in need of coming home. There are times when you cling to moments of joy, the way a person clings to a piece of wood in the middle of high waves, yet such fragile joys cannot hold you for long. You smile before others, but when you are alone, your sighs sound louder than any other noise. That is what happens when your soul tries to feed itself with things that were never meant to nourish it. Material, possessions, praise, the pursuit of success, fleeting pleasures. All of these can fill your hands, but they will never fill your heart. You think you are fine, yet inside you are like a cracked vessel. Whatever water is poured in seeps away almost at once. I see your struggling and confusion, and my heart aches because I know you are drinking from wells that only make you thirstier the more you drink. My beloved, the restlessness in your soul is often like a traveler who never feels at home wherever they go. You have a house, but do not feel you truly have a home. You have people who care about you, yet still sense an untouched emptiness no one can reach. I have not taken your peace away. It is you who have moved away from the place where your true identity is found. As I once said, whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. You do not thirst because the world is lacking. You thirst because you are lacking me, and only when you return will that deep, quiet longing be soothed like the first rain falling on cracked, dry ground. I know you have tried many times to fill the emptiness with relationships that keep you busy and less lonely. But then you realize that some companions only make you more tired because they too are searching for comfort and do not know where to find it. When two lost souls lean on each other, they lean not on truth, but on shared fear. I do not blame you for wanting a shoulder to lean on. I only want you to know that if your heart is not anchored in me, every other support will be just as fragile. An umbrella that shields you from a passing shower cannot take the place of a solid roof, and I have always wanted to be that roof for you. If you will only open your heart, I will once again become the place where you can rest without having to brace yourself. Have you noticed that emptiness often arrives very quietly, yet once it settles in, it clings more persistently than pain? It does not make you collapse at once, but slowly draws you away from true joy, like a lamp dimming as the oil runs out while everyone still assumes it is shining. You wonder why you always feel that something is missing, yet you cannot name what it is. That very inability to name it is the sign that your soul is growing weak. I want you to know that I am still right there, and that all you need to do is stop and look toward me. When you do, light will begin to seep in, driving out that cold emptiness in a way that nothing in this world could ever do. When your soul has been far from me for too long, it becomes like an abandoned garden, not smashed or destroyed, but slowly withering with time. Flowers no longer bloom, the soil hardens, and the beautiful things within you seem to have fallen asleep. Yet I have never looked at that garden with disappointment. I see each tiny seed of life still hidden deep in the ground, waiting for a shower from heaven. If you only return, I will water it with my mercy, and you will see what you thought was dead come slowly back to life. There is no soul so dried up that I cannot revive it. At last there will come a time when you realize that emptiness itself is not your enemy, but the gentle bell that tells you you have wandered a bit too far from where you belong. That slight ache in your heart when night falls, that sense of incompleteness, even in the midst of joy, these are not meant to threaten you, but to help you know that you were made for something greater than this world. And when you recognize that, the door home opens more softly than you ever imagined. I only long for you to understand that the lack you feel inside is not meant to wound you, but to lead you, step by step, back to your source. There, no emptiness can ever threaten you again, for there you will find a peace that nothing can shake. And then you will see, when your soul has been warmed again, you begin to see more clearly the things that caused you to fall apart, not only because you drifted away from me, but also because of the wounds, the stumbles, the regrets you once buried so deep. It is precisely those things that will become the next theme I want you to face, because on the journey home, there is another kind of pain, gentle but sharp, that I want to use to purify you, so that you not only return, but return stronger, more humble, and more true. You have walked farther than you think, and your heart is beginning to recognize which emptiness comes from distance and which comes from pain that has not yet been healed. I see it in every weary breath you take, in every time you try to appear strong before others but want to give up when you are alone. And from here, I want to lead you into a deeper truth that I have never been indifferent to your pain, even when you thought I did not care. There were moments when you believed I was silent, but in reality I was standing beside you, watching your heart wounded and unable to heal it quickly, because if I did not let you see the wound in its fullness, you would never allow me to touch it. My child, that silence was not abandonment. It was the space I created to prepare to embrace you completely. I know you have often thought that I did not care, because everything kept getting heavier while you kept growing more exhausted, but you did not know that every time you asked yourself, "Does the Lord see this?" I was pierced like a father watching his child fall and not being able to run to catch them right away, knowing that if you do not learn to stand, you will fall harder in the times to come. I do not take pleasure in your disappointment, and I am far from indifferent to the tears you hide so carefully in the night. I see even those moments when you think, "I can handle this," while inside you are as fragile as ashes. It is precisely when you are at your weakest that I am closest, only you are too busy bracing yourself to feel it. And I am always whispering, I am close to the broken-hearted. There are things I must allow you to go through, not to punish you, but to loosen your grip on what will never be able to hold you when the storms rise. Do you remember Job? The man who seemed to lose everything, but was in fact being stripped only of what did not truly belong to him. When he sat among the ashes, I did not take my eyes off him for a single moment. And when he realized that his life was not founded on anything on earth but placed entirely in me, he became stronger than ever. My child, sometimes I also allow certain things in your life to collapse, not to destroy you, but to rebuild a foundation that nothing can shake. I see clearly every pain you carry, the words that wounded you, the fractures in your relationships, the doors that slammed shut at the very moment you thought you were about to turn a new page. But many doors I close are not to block your way, rather to protect you from what you cannot yet see. If I did not stop you, you would walk deeper into places that would drain you even more. I know there are times when you do not understand and even blame me, but my heart does not grow distant from you because of that. On the contrary, I only want to hold you closer. You simply need to grow still so you can feel those arms around you. For the love I have for you is not shaken by your changing emotions. It remains as steady as it was in the beginning when I created you. Do you still think I only come to the strong and the holy? No, my beloved child. I come to souls still full of cracks, unfinished, shattered, because it is such souls that can taste grace most deeply. I once said that I leave the 99 sheep to go in search of the one that is lost. Not because the one is more important, but because that lost one is trembling and needs me most. You are the same. Every time you go astray, I seek you, I follow you, I draw so close that the moment you turn around, you will see me right there. I am not ashamed of your weakness. I only fear that you will get used to thinking that I no longer love you. And you know, it is precisely this tireless love of mine that will lead you into another stage of this journey, the stage in which I will show you that your regrets, the things you want to bury, and the wrong choices in your past are not a sentence hanging over your head. They can be a consuming fire, but they can also be a furnace of refinement if you place them in my hands. For my love for you has never stopped at comforting you. I want to heal, transform, and shape you into a brighter, humbler, more mature version of yourself. Be still for a moment, because from here, I want to take you into a very special place in your soul, a place you have tried to hide, to avoid, to pretend no longer exists, the place where your regrets are kept. I know that even the mention of it makes your heart sink, because old memories never close completely. But, my child, I am not leading you there so you can accuse or torment yourself. I am leading you there so that you may see something you have never dared to face. Regret is not a chain that binds you. It can become a purifying flame if you allow me to step into it with you. There are evenings when all the sounds outside fade away, and regret becomes a soft knocking at your heart. It is not loud, yet it is sharp and deep. You remember the opportunities you let slip by, the times you knew I was calling and still chose to ignore, the impulsive decisions you paid for with brokenness. That pain is warm like embers still glowing under the ashes, enough to make you ache, but not enough for you to grasp its meaning. You often avoid facing it because you are afraid it will burn you. But I tell you truly, regret only burns away what no longer belongs to you. It does not come to destroy, but to separate you from the things you need to leave behind. My beloved child, when you allow me to enter that place of regret, the first thing I do is not to reproach you or ask, "Why did you do that?" but to gently breathe the warmth of mercy into it. I let you look back at your past not so you may suffer more, but so you may see more clearly who has been preserving you even in your mistakes. I do this like a potter looking at a cracked vessel, not to throw it away, but to touch the crack, repair it, reshape it, and even make it shine with a new beauty. Do you remember Peter? He who denied me 3 times, whose regret was so deep it felt like his soul was shattering. But I came to meet him right in that very pain, not to accuse, but to restore him and entrust him with an even greater mission. What I did for Peter, I also desire to do for you. There are regrets that have made you say to yourself, "If only I had come back sooner." I know that pain is real and deep, and sometimes it is precisely what makes you hesitant to pray, hesitant to return, because you think, "I am disappointed in you." But no, my child, I have never been disappointed. Regret simply shows that your heart still feels, still knows how to discern right from wrong, still treasures my presence. Only a hardened heart feels no regret. But your heart, though cracked, still beats, still longs, still turns toward me. And as long as your heart still aches over what is wrong, it is still alive enough to be healed. I want you to understand this, something many souls go their whole lives without realizing. The deepest place of regret is precisely the place closest to me. Because when you hit bottom, there is nothing left for you to cling to but me. Your illusions about yourself fall away, your pride dissolves, your masks lose their worth, and you stand bare in the truth of who you are. I am not ashamed to see you like that. I wait for you there. For from that deepest point, I can rebuild you in a way that is firm, honest, and clear, not founded on your own strength, but on my unchanging love. And then, as you slowly rise from the ashes of regret, something wondrous begins to happen. You become gentler, more grateful, and your heart shines brighter than before. Those who once mocked me, ran from me, denied me, are often the very ones who burn the brightest when they return, because they know what it is to live without me and never want to go back there again. You too have the potential to become such a one, not because you are perfect, but because you have fallen, regretted, and collapsed, yet in the end chose to let me lift you up. And when the fire of regret has refined you enough, I want to lead you one step further, a step you may never have considered, the step of recognizing that every warning of mine, from beginning to end, has never been to threaten or bind you, but to invite you into a new life in love. For true love does not merely soothe, it calls you to rise, to choose, and to live more fully each day. You need only take my hand, and I will lead you through all that still lies ahead, my beloved child, after you have passed through emptiness, pain, and even those regions of regret that seemed untouchable. I want you to pause for a moment and see you are still here, still breathing, still capable of feeling, which means you have never been beyond my reach. And it is precisely now, when you know your own heart better, when you know what hurts you, what draws you away from me, that I want to tell you the deepest thing in my heart. Every warning I have ever given you, whether stern or gentle, has never been meant to frighten you. They have always been signs I planted along the road, so that no matter how far you wander, you will still recognize the way home. My love does not make you cower in fear. My love awakens you. You have often misunderstood my words. You thought I was threatening you when I showed you the consequences. You thought I had abandoned you when I was silent. You thought I was disappointed when you failed. But you did not know that every warning came from a heart that does not want to lose you. You are my child, and I cannot watch you walk toward what will dry out your soul without calling you back. True love does not only hold you in peace. True love also speaks when you are walking down the wrong path, so you will not be wounded more deeply later on. I say this not to force your submission, but so you know that every choice you make carries the weight of life, and I do not want you to trade your soul for anything that will pass away. Do you remember the woman caught in adultery, whom I saved from the hands of those who wanted to stone her? I did not stop them so that she could go on living in darkness. I saved her because I saw that she still had a future, that there was still a heart in her capable of change. I said to her, "Go and sin no more," not as a word of condemnation, but as a word of opportunity. In the same way, every warning I give you is a door opened, not a verdict pronounced. I never want you to live in fear. I want you to live in freedom, the true freedom that only my love can give. There are days when you feel like a small boat drifting on a vast sea, not knowing which way is right, not knowing what awaits ahead. You are afraid, confused, weary of having to choose. But my child, I do not leave you alone in those decisions. Every word I speak, every gentle stirring in your heart, every unexpected event that crosses your path is a subtle sign I place along your journey. I do this not to tie you down, but to give you the right to live a life with purpose, not wasted, not driven by things that appear for a moment and then disappear. You belong to me, and because of that, I have the responsibility to love you, to remind you, and to lead you. And when you let me step into the deepest cracks within you, those painful seasons, those empty spaces, those smoldering regrets, I will turn them into the very places where light begins to rise. I can trade ashes for beauty, failure for new beginnings, mistakes for testimonies that will guide others who are still lost. You will see that what once hurt you the most becomes the place where I lay the strongest foundation. For my love does not merely patch you up, it transforms you. You are no longer someone who wanders through life in a daze, but one who carries light, who carries hope, who carries the story of restoration that I have worked within you. And now, when everything has become clear, I only want to say one last thing to you, a word that closes this chapter yet opens a new journey. Do not wait until regret burns you to come back. Do not wait until the echo of emptiness hardens into a permanent habit. You still have time, you still have breath, you still have opportunity. Come back to me the very moment your heart realizes that it needs me. I have waited for you for so long, and I am still here with arms wide open. You only need to take a single step, and I will run toward you. You have never lost your worth. You have never lost your chance. And you have never lost the love I have had for you from the very beginning. You think I am silent, but in truth, it is precisely in those seemingly empty pauses that I am doing things your eyes cannot see and your mind cannot yet understand. When you think you are walking alone through your darkest days, I am the one gently carrying you over chasms that, if you could see them, would make you tremble and refuse to move forward. You have never been pushed outside the borders of my heart, even when you wandered down narrow side paths where you hoped to find love. I kept waiting for you to return. I watched you search for acceptance from those who did not have the strength to hold your heart. I saw you pour out your soul to things that could never answer you back. And I knew that these very disappointments would one day help you realize that you were born to belong to me, not to the fleeting things of this world. You placed your hope in passing fragrances, things that feel beautiful at the first touch but quickly fade after a few brief moments, and your heart grew emptier each time. You have grown weary chasing the shadow of something you believed would complete you, a higher position, a look of admiration, an open door, or a person you thought would be your safe harbor. But my child, you have been complete since the moment I called you forth out of nothingness, long before you ever knew your own doubts. You do not need to impress me in order to be loved, nor hide your weakness before you come near me. In my eyes, you already carry full worth even when you are shattered and confused. I saw you in that first moment when tears fell because you felt you were not enough. I heard your heart tighten when you realized the places you had entrusted with your whole trust were never truly safe. I witnessed the nights when you lay still in a dark room, hardly daring to breathe, afraid your own loneliness would reveal itself too clearly. In those moments, I did not turn my face away. I drew even closer to you. I came to you not to interrogate what you had done wrong, but to remind you that my love for you is not built on achievement, does not require conditions, and will never depend on your wandering steps. You once believed you had to repair your own soul, become perfect, appear strong before you dared to approach me. But my child, I do not love the version of you that you strain and force yourself to become. I love you as you are, with your cracks, your scrapes, your many stumbles. I do not love you when you are better. I loved you before you ever knew what better meant, before you knew my name, before you understood what love even is. My love is not like human love. The love of this world is conditional. It loves when it is reciprocated, loves when it still gains something, loves when the other remains a source of pride. But I keep loving even when you turn and run from me. I stay even when you try to push me away. I hold you close even when your heart is full of doubt and exhaustion. My love is not a lamp that fades with time, nor a dimming glow that weakens as you wander off. It is an eternal flame. No matter how fiercely the winds of this world may blow, it keeps burning, for it does not depend on your strength but rests on my unchanging, loving nature. Perhaps right now you do not yet understand all that I am doing in your life. Perhaps you see your prayers seemingly unanswered, your dreams pursued with all your heart leading into dead ends, and doors you believed were meant for you slamming shut right before your eyes. You think I am not responding, you think I am unmoved, but a day will come when you look back and understand that every tear you shed was a moment when I touched your heart in a way that only silence can. What you thought was delay was in fact the time I used to shield you from things you were not yet strong enough to face. The prayers you believed had fallen into a void have actually been kept by me, waiting to be returned to you at the moment you are able to cherish and safeguard them. Every event that seemed accidental was really the gentle unfolding of my preparation, so that you would not lose yourself in things that appeared good but were never meant for you. You were not abandoned in those times you cried in secret. I was beside you, wiping away the tears you dared not let anyone see. You were not alone in your disappointments. I stood behind you, keeping your heart from collapsing completely. You have never slipped from my hand, because my hand has never let you go. And I know, even if you have not fully realized it yet, that deep within your soul you have already begun to hear my call. I can feel your heart softening, the small yet sincere longing in you to understand me, to come back, to reclaim the peace you lost somewhere along the long and weary road. You do not need to hurry, but you do need to be honest with yourself. You have searched in so many places, yet none of them has been able to hold you for long. You have given away so many hopes, yet none of them has returned to you the fullness you longed for. I am the place where you can lay down your burdens without fear of being judged. I am the place where you can exhale in relief without feeling pressured to appear strong. I am the place you can come back to even when your hands are still trembling and your soul is still dusty from the road, and I will keep my arms open wide, as I always have. One day, you will understand completely. My love for you has never been interrupted and has never had any limit. My child, I will speak to you with all the tenderness yet firmness of a father who sees his child has been weary for far too long, has tried too hard, and has endured things that were never meant to be theirs. You have walked through the dark territories of regret, the long nights of emptiness, the moments when you felt as though you had lost your inner voice, and from that deepest place, I want to speak so you will know that your life does not end in failure or weakness. It is precisely there that a new page can be opened. I am the one who brings life to places where hope has vanished, the one who touches broken pieces and makes them shine, the one who sees value in you even when you think you have nothing left to offer. Everything you believe has died, your faith, your dreams, your peace, your zeal. I can breathe life into them again and cause them to live in ways you never imagined. Do not fear the past, my beloved, for my hand is not chained by what has happened. I use both darkness and light to create something beautiful within you. You have fought as if you were alone in this life, standing against everything by yourself. I have seen every time you clenched your teeth to endure, every time you forced a smile when your soul was almost worn out, every time you carried burdens that were never yours because you thought you had to try just a little harder so others would not be disappointed. But my child, I never created you to hold up the sky with bare hands. You were not destined to strain yourself against every storm. There is a place where you can fall without being abandoned, a place where you can let go without being judged, a place where you can breathe without fearing that your weakness will disqualify you. That place is with me where you are allowed to set down every burden and rest in a peace that surpasses all understanding. I do not ask you to be endlessly strong. I ask you to be real. I want you to know that your frailty does not drive me away. It draws me nearer so I may hold you, lift you up, and cover you. Let me become your strength, for no one can stand firm for long on their own. When you finally let go, it is not failure. It is the moment you allow me to step in. Surrender is not losing. Surrender is opening the door for peace to enter the place where storms once raged. You do not need to understand every detail of what is happening, because you are not walking alone. I see the road ahead, even when your eyes are blurred by tears or anxiety. You are confused about the future, but that future is already in my hands. You fear what has not yet come, but I have gone before you to level the rough places. When a door closes, you often think you have been rejected, but you do not know that it is I who am turning you toward something better, safer, more fitting. When someone steps out of your life, you call it loss. Yet many times, that very departure is a barrier removed so that you can step into freedom. You cannot see the whole picture, but I can. And when your soul feels as empty as a hollow vessel, you think it is nothing but lack, but in truth, I am clearing space to hold something greater that is on its way. I never take away without intending to give back something more worthy. Be patient, my child, for growth takes time. Healing takes time. The things I build to last never blossom in haste. Do not be afraid that you are standing still, for sometimes that very stillness is the preparation for a journey far more powerful than before. You have never waited in vain. I never let you waste a single moment of waiting if that moment does not somehow bless your soul. I have placed a seed within you even if you doubt, even if you hesitate, even if you get lost, that seed remains. The dreams I planted in your heart from the moment you first began to think are still alive. No stretch of time can cancel them. You may believe you have gone too far or that it is too late to begin again, but in my realm there is no such thing as too late. I only need one breath, one moment, one small yes from you for everything to change. I can cause what seems withered to rise up stronger than when it was in full bloom. Don't doubt the things I placed inside you. The seed I have sown is never a dead seed. It is only sleeping, and it will awaken when I speak. Now is the time. You have not been cast outside the flow of my moving. You have not been left behind. You have not been lost somewhere outside of my plan. You are standing exactly where you need to be in order to be made ready for what I am about to do within you. Do not look over at anyone else's journey and decide that they are ahead of you. You do not see what I am doing behind the veil. You do not understand all the lines I am drawing in the silence. Every soul I have formed is a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. And what I am doing in you, the quiet healings, the small yet profound shifts, the times I gently redirect your path, all of it is preparing you for a role that only you can carry. I will use your life to touch souls you do not even know are longing for something they cannot name. I will turn your story into light for those who are standing in the dark. I will take every scar within you and turn it into a testimony of mercy so that others will recognize me through your very life. My beloved, nothing that has passed has been meaningless. Not a single tear has been wasted. Everything you have endured will become a witness for those who are desperately searching for a way back home. I never rewrite your past in red ink. I rewrite it in light. You only need to take one small step. I will take care of the rest. I have walked with you from the beginning, and I will walk with you to the end. I have never stepped away, and I will never abandon you. You belong to me. And your life, even where it has been tangled, shattered, exhausted, can still blossom in ways you never dared to dream. My child, I have watched every trembling step you have taken. I have seen the moments when you felt as if you were breaking in two, when you thought your heart could not bear even one more wound. And I know there are times you think these things happened because I turned my face away, but the truth is entirely different. There are moments when I allow you to come close to the edge of breaking, not to crush you, but to remind you that you were never made to carry everything alone. When you find yourself in that place where every support gives way, that is when you finally see me standing there, not far off, but right beside you, as a quiet strength you had unknowingly forgotten. I do not pull you out of the storm at once, not because I take pleasure in your pain, but because I want you to discover what you have never truly known, that real peace is not a windless, perfect day, but my presence holding your heart steady in the midst of the fiercest storm. You have tasted enough of the fleeting joys that the world offers. You have seen the emptiness of what you once clung to. You have felt the weariness of chasing after the noise outside, just to cover up the silence within. The world can give you a few hours of excitement, a brief sense of being noticed, a little temporary comfort to help you forget your sorrow for a moment. But when night falls, when every light goes out, when only the bare truth stands before you, you realize that none of those things can heal the deepest fractures in your soul. Now that your heart has ripened enough to discern what truly matters, I want you to know that real peace is not found in having everything go your way, but in your heart, remaining calm in adversity, still standing when the winds beat against you, still trusting when your eyes see no way out. This peace does not depend on circumstances, because it flows from me, the one who does not change. You often ask me for a sign, an answer, some clear proof that I am still near. You imagine that I might write it across the sky or send you an obvious miracle. But my child, what you do not see is this: you yourself are already the sign. The fact that you are still standing after wounds that seemed impossible to survive, the fact that you still desire to go on, even though your heart has been cracked before, the fact that you are still listening for me, even after doubting yourself so many times, all these are the strongest evidence of the grace I have poured over your life. Along this journey, many have collapsed under burdens lighter than the ones you now carry. Yet here you are, still breathing, still searching, still hoping. And this is not because you are more capable or stronger than others, but because my hand has held you day after day, even when you did not realize it. There is one who exploits your weariness and whispers into your heart that I have abandoned you. He sows doubt in you, making you think I am indifferent, distant, cold. But, my beloved, he lies, because falsehood is his very nature. I never leave you, not for a single moment. If you see empty spaces, they are only places I am clearing out so that I can fill them with my presence. If you feel forsaken, it is only because I am pulling you away from what is unworthy of you in order to bring you into a safer place. When your mind becomes chaotic, when your heart begins to tremble with fear, do not let panic drag you deeper down. Pause, breathe softly, place your hand over your chest and feel the heartbeat that has not stopped. I am present in every beat. When you call on me, you do not need a perfect prayer. You do not have to choose polished words. You do not have to speak at length. You do not have to present everything neatly. I hear the voice of your heart before your thoughts are shaped into words. Even your broken, uneven breaths become prayers. The tears you hide in your pillow reach me faster than any whispered plea. I understand every unspoken thing, every silence that cannot yet be voiced, every fear you dare not share with anyone. I understand it all because I dwell within you, closer than anyone else in this world. You are not as weak as you once believed. I want you to know that courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to keep trusting even while fear still lingers. You do not have to fight alone. You do not have to rebuild your life with empty hands. Everything you now carry, your perseverance, your compassion, the sting you feel when you do wrong, the desire to make things right, all these are signs that I am at work within you. Every tear you shed is seen by me. Every step you take through the dark is guarded by me. There is not a single moment in your entire life in which I am not present. So keep calling my name in your thoughts, in your breathing, in your weariness. You do not need to shout. You do not need ritual or ornament. You only need to be sincere. I will answer you, not with thunder or loud displays of power, but with a quiet peace that flows into your heart like warm water. You will not see me with your eyes, but you will know I am there when your soul begins to soften even while nothing outside has changed. When you find enough courage to take another step, even though the future remains unclear, when you feel yourself upheld by a strength that does not come from you. And as you begin to recognize this presence, you will understand that what you have gone through was never meant to destroy you, but to soften your heart, to show you that my love does not exist only to comfort, but also to transform. Every time you thought you were about to collapse, I placed a new fragment of strength within you. Every time you felt utterly hopeless, I entrusted a small seed of hope into your heart, one that even you did not expect. Every time you believed you had wandered too far, I drew you back through events that seemed like coincidences, but were in fact woven into my plan. You are a living testimony of this. My grace never runs dry. My beloved, let me be the place you lean into when you are weary. Let me be the light that leads you through the long nights. Let me become the peace no storm can take from you. For I am here not as a vague idea, but as a solid reality. I am here in every breath, every decision, every smallest step you take. I am here, and I will never leave you, no matter what may come. You are not walking alone. You have never walked alone, and you will never have to walk alone. Just place your hand into mine and leave the rest to me. My child, from the deepest place in my heart, I want to tell you something you have long forgotten. You are never a burden to me. I have seen every smallest tremor within your soul, even the things you have never dared to name, and I have called you, not because you excel or surpass anyone, but because I see in you a tender ground, a small place where light can still slip in, even though your heart has weathered storms that seem to tear every faith apart. When you asked me, Why me? You did not realize that behind that question lay a longing to be loved, to be seen, to be acknowledged in a way nothing on this earth can satisfy. I chose you not because you are flawless, but because you know how to feel deeply, because amid the broken pieces you carry, I still see the seed of humility, honesty, and a longing for something that rises above what eyes see and ears hear. And with even a single seed like that in your heart, I can grow a whole garden you never dreamed you could deserve. You think you are small, you think you have nothing to offer, but you forget that I do not need your achievements, your talents, or your stability in order to act. The only thing I desire is a heart willing to open, even just a little. When you bring me your truth, not a truth polished to look presentable, but the rawest, roughest, most vulnerable truth, I will use that very truth to heal. My child, you do not need to bring me a perfected version of yourself. I want you to bring what is earliest and most unfiltered, the anger not yet cooled, the wound not yet closed, the fear not yet named, the doubts that keep you awake night after night. I can bear all of it. There is no question that confuses me, no pain that frightens me, no wound too deep for me to draw near. I created your mind, your emotions, your soul. Nothing in you is unfamiliar to me. I do not love you because you hide your weaknesses. I love you because you dare to face them. And I want you to know that I do not come to inspect how much you have done right, but to invite you into a real relationship where you do not need to perform, do not need to prove yourself, do not need to pretend to be strong. When you are tired, come to me. When you collapse, come to me. Even when you feel you cannot take one more step, still come to me. I am never ashamed of you. I am not disappointed when you fail, because long before you were born I knew your journey would sometimes be unsteady, that you would stumble, that there would be moments when you believed you had lost your worth. But my child, it is precisely in those moments when you feel you have nothing left to bring that I see in you what is most true. The will to rise again, the desire to live better, the longing to return to the source you once drifted from. I do not love only a version of you that seems right and composed. I love every version you try to hide, the version that takes hesitant steps, the one sitting at the edge of the bed in tears, the one so exhausted yet still whispering a prayer you can barely stand to hear because it feels too weak. All of these versions are precious in my eyes, because they show that you still want to move toward me, even slowly, even trembling, even unsure. The grace I give you is not a reward for a perfect life. Grace is the blanket I wrap around you when you are cold, the cup of water I place in your hands when you are thirsty, the hands I rest on your shoulders when you tremble. It keeps you alive, keeps you breathing, keeps you standing, while you learn to distinguish your own true voice from mine. You cannot earn grace. You cannot pile up merits to exchange for it. You can only receive it, because grace is not based on what you do, but on who I am, and I from everlasting am. Love, patience, healing, the one who does not abandon any soul that seeks to return. I see that you have been wearing a mask for far too long. You wear it to keep others pleased, to make yourself seem a little less pitiful, to hide the fear of being wounded one more time. But you do not need to wear any mask before me. I see through every layer of disguise, yet I do not tear them off you harshly. I stand before you, gently waiting for you to remove each layer yourself, to take it off only when you are ready. For I do not only want to see the real you, I want you to see yourself, to accept yourself, to forgive yourself. When you are honest with me, it is not that I finally know, it is that you finally become free. And now, as your heart has begun to soften, as you have dared to look into the places you locked away for so long, I want to remind you that all the things you thought would push me away are precisely the things that draw me closer. I do not come because you are strong. I come because you are weak. I do not come because you have much to offer. I come because you have nothing left but the truth. I do not come because you are complete. I come because you are unfinished. I do not come to watch you perform, but to step into the true story of your life, that story which is not yet polished, not yet bright, not yet steady, and yet it is the very story I have chosen to engrave my light upon. You ask me why I call you when you still have so many flaws. I answer that I see in you a strength you do not know you possess, the strength of a heart that refuses to die even after much pain, the strength of a soul that still longs to choose the good even after many stumbles, the strength of one who knows they cannot save themselves and so is willing to place their hands into mine. The ones I use are not the flawless, they are the ones who know they need me, and you are among them. Do not hide anymore, my child. Do not say, "I'm fine," when you are not fine. Do not hold back your tears just to appear strong. Do not shove your feelings into a dark corner simply because you fear they will overwhelm you. You do not need to protect yourself in my presence. Bring me the truth even if it is messy, even if it is full of contradictions, even if it fills you with shame. I receive it all. I do not break because of your anger. I am not startled by the doubts in your heart. I do not condemn you for the times you wanted to give up. I am the one who created your heart, a heart that knows how to love, how to ache, how to desire more than what this world can offer. I understand you long before you understand yourself. Come to me when you fail, and I will show you that a single fall cannot define your whole life. Come when you have done wrong, and I will show you that failure is not the end. Come when you are confused, and I will lead you through. Come when you feel unworthy, and I will hold you close, so you may know that love does not rest on worthiness. Come when you collapse, for I am the place where you can fall and still be safe. There is nothing in you that makes me turn away. There is no trial so great that I cannot lead you through it. There is no darkness so deep that my light cannot reach. Trust me, my beloved, because the love I have for you is not a love that shifts with time, not a love that rests on conditions, and certainly not a love reserved only for the best-looking parts of you. I love you completely. I love the part of you that is searching, the part that is shattered, the part that is changing, the part that is not yet healed, the part that is still afraid. And precisely because I love all of you, I want you to live fully, freely, and in true peace. You do not need to hide. You do not need to strive to earn acceptance. You do not need to fix yourself before coming to me. You only need to come, and the rest I will take care of. My dear one, when you truly realize that the love I have for you is not a temporary consolation but the deepest, most solid foundation of your life, then you will no longer run from me in confusion, but you will run toward me as toward the only place where your soul can truly rest. You will see that I never demanded you be perfect before drawing near. I come to transform you, not to put you on trial. The years of your wandering have never made me stop loving you. The moments of your weakness have never made me turn away. The days you strayed from the right path have never made me abandon you. My heart is not like the human heart. I do not love by seasons, feelings, or conditions. I love according to my very nature, and that nature is an unchanging love. When you understand this, every pain you fear to face will be painted in a new light. Pain remains pain, but it is no longer an abyss. It becomes a stretch of road you walk together with me. You will know that there are wounds so deep you cannot heal them on your own, but I can touch them and restore them. There will be days when everything around you seems to fall apart and you think you are losing everything. Yet in that very moment you will find my hand holding you with gentle firmness. I will give you peace when the world is in turmoil. I will give you strength when you yourself are exhausted. I will lift you up when you believe you have no energy left to stand. You do not need to be strong all the time. You only need to let me be strong on your behalf. There are times you will feel that I am slow, that I do not answer, or that I have forgotten you. But you do not see that I am never rushed by the pace of fear. I work according to the rhythm of salvation. What you think is delay is, in truth, my guidance. What you think is silence is, in truth, my arranging of all things. What you think is a dead end is, in truth, the moment I am opening another path for you, a better, firmer, kinder way. I want you to know that not a single moment of your life is abandoned. You only need to trust, even when every outward sign seems to say the opposite. For faith is not about seeing. Faith is taking the next step even when your eyes cannot discern what lies ahead. And each step you keep taking in the dark is a powerful testimony of how deeply you trust me. Every time you choose gentleness instead of hardness, you are proclaiming to all of heaven that the light I placed in you is still burning. Every time you forgive while the wound still aches, you are reflecting my heart more than you realize. Every time you decide to get up one more time after you fall, the angels rejoice because you have not allowed the night to claim you. And you do not see it, but the very moments when you feel the smallest are the moments when I see you shining the brightest. True growth is not noisy. It usually happens in silence, through each small choice, each quiet moment when you turn toward me instead of turning in on yourself. There will be days of doubt, nights when you feel like a stray leaf in the storm, but I want you to remember this. Darkness can never swallow even the smallest ray of light, and you are that ray. Even if you feel weak, that light is still burning. Even if you tremble as you walk, that light does not go out. Even if you are disappointed in yourself, I am never disappointed in you. I know you think you are not good enough, but I do not need you to be good enough. I need you to be real. I do not need you to know every answer. I only need you to trust the one who holds every answer. You do not need to see the whole road. You only need to take the next step. I do not ask you to run fast, only that you do not stop. No matter how long or rough the road may be, I have known it since before you were born, and because I know, I have already prepared all that you will need to walk it to the end. You are not forgotten, even on the days when you think no one sees your weariness. I see it all. I know every time you pretend to be fine. I hear every sigh that no one else notices. I know each wound you cover, each part you dare not reveal, each tear you swallow back. You are never as alone as you imagine. I never take my eyes off you, not for a single second. And no matter how far you wander, I still stand at the center of your life, calling your name with all the patience of a love that never grows tired. You are not too far gone to return. You are not too broken to be loved. You are not too lost to be redeemed. You are fully known from the inside out, called by your own name, guarded, chosen, and loved with a love that surpasses every limit. The world may abandon you, people may forget you, even you yourself may sometimes fail to value who you are, but I do not. I love you with a love that was inscribed before your very first cry. I love you with an unchanging love when you fall, and with that same unchanging love when you rise. I love you on the days of your success, and I love you just as much on the days you fall apart. I love you because you belong to me. And when you truly grasp this, when your heart finally understands that you do not have to face trials alone, do not have to strain to appear strong, do not have to run endlessly in search of worth, but only need to step into my arms to find peace, then every chain within you will begin to fall. You will breathe more lightly, you will stand more firmly, you will love more deeply. And you will know that this life, though it passes through seasons of drought, is never meaningless because you are being led by the one who has never lost you, not even once. I am here. I have always been here, and I do not stay with you because you are strong, but because you are mine. My child, I will speak to you with all the tenderness of the one who has seen the depths of your pain, your fragility, and all the moments when you felt there was no place left for you in this world. So, when I tell you to lift your head, do not think I am demanding that you be instantly strong. I am simply inviting you to rise just enough to see what your tears have always blinded you to. You have never been defined by what is behind you. You are not your past mistakes, not your reckless choices, not the day you collapsed, still less the times you believed yourself unworthy. You are the promise I placed upon your life before your first breath, the intention I formed for you before the earth took shape, the joy I have cherished since I spoke light into the void. You think you are small? You think you are just a stray shard drifting through the world, but you do not see that the very power that painted the galaxies, the very hands that lit the sun, are the same hands that uphold your soul every single moment. Within you there is a measure of my own light, a share of glory that you yourself forget at times because life is too loud, too harsh, too full of voices saying you are not enough. Yet I tell you this, every breath of life in you bears my imprint. You are not as weak as you think, not as insignificant as others have judged, not as useless as the cruel words that once wounded you. You are chosen not by chance, but because I see in you what you cannot yet see in yourself. You are not ruined, not defective, not discarded. You are being remade, washed free from what made you old and weary, built up into a stronger, deeper, more vibrant version of yourself. And you are never truly lost, for one is only lost when no one is searching for them, and I have never stopped seeking you, even when you tried to hide, when you covered yourself with a calm facade, when you pretended to be fine with everyone while your heart was already so very tired. When you start to question your own worth, remember that I did not hesitate to give you my very love to prove it. My love is not empty words, not a passing feeling, not pity. It is a covenant, a decision, a complete self-giving without conditions. When you feel alone in half-hearted relationships, remember that I am closer to you than the breath you draw. There is no dark corner in your life that I cannot reach, no pain in your heart that I do not see, no sigh that escapes my attention. When you want to give up, when you feel as if life is closing in on you, remember that the last page of your story is still in my hands, and I have never written it with the ink of despair. The world may look at your scars and judge you, may look at your wrong decisions and condemn you, may look at your weakest day and define you by that single moment. But I do not see you the way the world sees you. The world uses your failures to label you. I use mercy to call your name. For I know that beneath the broken pieces there is still a soul that longs for what is good, still desires the light, still waits for a chance to live true to itself. People may forget your name, but I do not. You have been engraved in my heart, not like a line of ink on a page, but like an everlasting seal no one can erase. You belong to me. You belong to life, to light, to the path I have prepared. You belong to the place your heart always turns toward, no matter how many times you lose your way. And I say it 3 times, not just to impress it on your mind, but to carve it deep into your heart that you are not abandoned. You are being prepared to come home to me. Therefore, take courage, my beloved. Forgive yourself, because if I have forgiven you, you too must learn to release what no longer belongs to you. Begin again, even if it is with only one small step. Walk with me, for I will lead you to a place you have never dared to dream of, where the things that once hurt you become the very soil from which new beauty grows, where loss becomes the foundation for purpose, where yesterday's tears become the rain that helps your soul blossom. What is coming, my child, will help you understand why the old days had to happen. If you could see the treasures I am keeping for you, you would be grateful that you did not give up on your darkest nights. Nothing in your journey is random. Not a single moment is without meaning. I placed you in this flow of life with clear intention, and everything I allow to pass through your days, whether smiles or tears, is shaping you into the person you were created to become. Your presence here is not an accident. You are here because there is a purpose that only you can bring into this world, a light no one else can replace, a place no one else can fill. You have gone far, you have stumbled, you have hurt, you have doubted, but none of that has taken away your value. On the contrary, it has made you deeper, more understanding of others, more generous, more humble. I will use all of that to kindle a new story within you. You need only keep getting up, keep opening your heart, keep placing your hand in mine, for your life does not end in the past. Your life truly begins at the moment you decide to return to me. And from here, I will lead you into the most beautiful part of the journey, beyond anything you have ever imagined. I only need to believe that you are not walking alone. I am here, right beside you. Yesterday I was here, today I am still here, and tomorrow I will be here as well. You are never outside my sight, and nothing can separate you from my love for you. You belong to me, and that is a truth that will never change. Keep moving forward, my beloved, for what lies ahead is far more beautiful than you think. My beloved child, I hear every trembling beat of your heart as you read these words, and I know you are not only reading with your eyes, but with the deepest places you once thought no one could ever touch. You are receiving these words of mine not by chance, but because your soul is longing for something the world has never been able to give you in full. The assurance that you are loved, seen, and held, no matter how weary, broken, or lost you may feel. You have grown used to standing on your own, to being strong, to bracing yourself, to prove that you are fine, even when everything inside you is shaking. But my child, I want you to understand that from the moment you open your heart, I step into every corner of that loneliness, filling it with a presence that nothing else can replace. I do not love you from afar. I do not watch you through some cold, distant opening. I draw near so near that you do not need to shout for me. The slightest movement of your heart is already heard. And because of that, I remind you, do not close your heart to me, for each day I look for ways to whisper to you through a small joy, an unexpected moment, a gentle inner prompting, or even through a silence that makes you reflect deeply. Do not think that I speak only through great events. I speak through details, through each beat, each breath, each subtle stirring that only you can feel. Keep a small space in your heart for me, so that I may enter, so that my light can touch the places you have not yet dared to face. I am not a distant being seated high above, indifferent as you struggle through life. I am your Father, not in a symbolic sense, but as the deepest truth of who you are. I am the one who breathed life into you at the very beginning, the one who walked beside you in every story you thought you faced alone, the one who laid my hand on your shoulder every time you trembled before life and did not know where to lean. I am not only almighty, I am also the one closest to your heart. I am the friend you can rest your head upon, the shoulder on which you can weep without shame, the shelter you can run to when you are exhausted by a world that keeps demanding you remain strong. Do not be afraid to draw near to me. I do not push you away when you are weak. I am not indifferent when you are lost. I do not turn my face from you when you fall. I do not keep silent to punish you. If I am silent at times, it is only so that you can hear your own heart more clearly, so that you can recognize what truly matters, what is causing you pain, what needs to be healed. I am silent so that you may listen more deeply, never so that you must suffer alone. You will come to see, day by day, that what seemed like random events are actually my footprints left along your path. I do not merely mend your wounds. I transform them into living stories so that one day you will comfort others in the very ways you yourself once needed comfort. I do not let your tears fall without purpose. Each tear waters a seed in your soul so that one day it will bloom into a resilience you never knew you had. The long seasons of waiting, the moments when pain tightens your chest, The times you ask, what does this even mean? All of them are shaping you, building within you a maturity you could never gain by walking a straight, easy road. I never desire pointless suffering for you. I am using everything, even the brokenness, to form you into the person you were created to be. The weaker you feel, the closer I draw. The more you feel you cannot go on, the more I uphold you. The more confused you are about the future, the more I long to carry you through that foggy stretch of road. My child, stay close to me. Do not pull away just because you do not see the path clearly. My light does not always shine far ahead. Sometimes I only give you enough light for one more step. But just as a father leads his child through the night, I hold your hand firmly so that as long as you keep walking, you will not lose your way. Trusting me does not mean you always know what is happening. Trusting means you know whose hand is holding yours. When you cannot see what lies ahead, remember that I see it all. When you do not understand what is happening, remember that I know exactly what I am doing. You belong to me. This is not a short-term promise, but an eternal truth. Nothing can lessen my love for you. No failure can make me abandon you. No mistake can make me change my mind about you. No darkness can hide you from my eyes. And no power, not fear, not the past, not the world can separate you from my love. There will be days when you feel you are standing on the edge between hope and despair, unsure whether to move forward or stop completely. But, my child, every time you think you are alone on that edge, I am right behind you, reaching out to steady you so that you do not fall. You no longer need to fight by yourself. I fight on your behalf. I shield you when you are weak. I carry your pain on my shoulders. And when you no longer have strength to pray, I still intercede for you with the very breath of my love. I know there are parts of your heart that have been forgotten for a long time, dreams you buried for fear of failure, longings you hid for fear of being misunderstood, but I have never forgotten them. I have never forgotten you. The things you think are lost, I still keep. The things you think are too late, I can make new. The things you think can never live again, I can bring them back to life in a beauty far greater than before. Come to me with confidence. Come closer without fear. Do not think you are unworthy. Do not think you must be clean and unbroken before you dare approach me. You can come to me with everything you are carrying: confusion, weariness, weakness, wounds, even the places you do not yet know how to put into words. I receive it all. I hold it all. I heal it all. I never turn away a soul that is trying to come home. I never refuse a hand that is trembling to reach for mine. You only need to give me a small opening, the rest I will do. You belong to me, completely, deeply, unchangeably. Nothing, absolutely nothing can make me stop loving you. Not time, not distance, not mistakes, not weakness. My love for you does not warp with the seasons. It does not fade with the years. It is the most enduring reality in your entire life. And one day, when you look back, you will see that every wound, every fall, every sleepless night, every tear, every prayer that seemed to fall into emptiness, each one was a golden thread I used to weave your life. You will see my hand in every footprint you left, in every breath you took, in every moment you thought, I will not make it through this, and you will understand that I never left. You need only keep placing your heart in my hands. I will lead you through storms, through the night, through anxiety, through exhaustion. You no longer have to walk alone. From now on, and forever, I am with you, not sometimes, not for a while, but always. You belong to me, and that truth will never change. Rest in this love, and let me lead you into the peace you have been searching for all these years. You are in me, and I am in you. This is the starting point of all healing, all peace, everything your heart longs for. My beloved child, from this moment on, you are no longer alone. I am here, and I will always be. My beloved, I will keep speaking to you as if I were sitting right beside you, laying my warm hand on your tired shoulders, letting my heart touch the places you have never allowed anyone else to reach. I know you need more than passing comfort, more than a few brief words of reassurance. You need a long, steady stream of gentleness, of truth, of hope, of unchanging love. And I will speak, because I know that not a single word I send to you falls to the ground in vain. They soak into your soul like rain into parched earth that has waited far too long. Do you know why I want you to keep listening to me? Because there are things your heart can only truly understand when it has been immersed in love for a long time. There are dark corners inside you that have not been touched by light for so long, and they need time to slowly dissolve. I am not in a hurry. I have never been in a hurry with you. You only need to allow me to go a little deeper into your heart. Do not be afraid that I will see the old wounds, the mistakes you have hidden, the memories you have tried to lock away. I have known all of them before you ever spoke a word, and I still love you. I love you in a way that makes every shame melt away. I love you in a way that heals without hurting you further. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you truly felt at peace? Not a passing moment of happiness, not a brief excitement, but a peace as light as breath, as deep as the ocean, as gentle as an embrace. You have searched for it in success, in human love, in words of praise, in effort, in perfection, even in trying to control everything. But true peace is never found there. True peace does not come from an easy life. It comes from knowing that I am walking beside you, no matter what circumstances you are in. And you have been missing that for so long, that weariness has seeped into every fiber of your soul. Have you ever wondered why I'm so patiently waiting for you to come back, patiently waiting for you to open your heart, patiently refusing to judge you when you stumble over the same place again and again? It is because you are my child. I do not love you because you are perfect. I love you because you belong to me. You were born from my love, and no matter where you go, how many journeys you run through, how many shortcuts you try, I am still the place you will return to. It is I who chose you before the world had form. It is I who wove your soul together with my own hands. It is I who placed inside you the things that only you possess, your sensitivity, your compassion, your capacity to love deeply, dreams larger than the life you imagine for yourself. And because I know you were created for something noble, I cannot simply stand by and watch you measure yourself as less than what is true. There are days when you feel like a small boat battered by storms. You try to keep your balance, try not to sink, try to reassure yourself that you will be fine. But I know there have been many times when you wanted to give up. You are tired of pretending to be strong. You are tired of bracing yourself so no one sees the weakness inside. You are tired of holding on to too many things that you should have placed into my hands from the very beginning. My beloved, let me tell you this. You do not have to battle the waves alone. You do not have to keep this boat steady by your own strength. I am right there, in the midst of that storm, and I am only waiting for you to call on me. When I step into your boat, the storm no longer has the right to control you. Not because the storm disappears, but because I am greater than every storm. You are always afraid that you are not enough, not good enough, not strong enough, not believing enough, not worthy enough. But I see what you cannot see. I see you still standing despite breaking over and over again. I see you still loving even though your heart has been wounded. I see you still trying even when you are so tired you feel you have no strength left to try. I see you still choosing kindness, choosing what is right, choosing what is beautiful, even when no one praises you. I see your quiet faithfulness in the small things no one on this earth notices, but I see it all, and I treasure every little bit. You are not enough. You are becoming exactly who I created you to be. I want you to understand this. The days you think you are standing still are the very days I am working the most powerfully. Like a seed beneath the earth, silently cracking open, you too are growing in the quiet. Do not judge yourself by what your eyes can see. Do not think that the absence of visible change means nothing is happening. I am working in the deepest places within you, where you cannot see with physical eyes, but you will feel it in time, when doors begin to open at exactly the right moment. I am never late. I am always perfectly on time, and the time appointed for you is being prepared by me with careful attention to every tiny detail. There are relationships I have allowed to leave your life, not because you are unworthy of love, but because you are worthy of a higher love. There are opportunities I have closed because you were not ready yet, or because you were heading in the wrong direction. There are things I have taken out of your hands because they would harm you later on. I have never allowed you to lack anything you truly need for the journey that has been destined for you. And when you feel loss, it is not rejection, it is protection. Every time I close something, I am making a way for something greater, broader, brighter. Trust me, my beloved. Trust that my hands never tremble when they are holding yours. Trust that I never miss a single detail in your life. Trust that I see you from where you are standing now all the way to where you will one day be. Trust that when you cannot lift yourself up, I will lift you with my own strength. Trust that though you may change, waver, and grow weak, I remain still like a solid rock that can never be shaken. You belong to me forever. The love I have for you has no expiration date. It does not fade with time. It does not decrease when you do wrong. It does not vanish when you doubt. It does not grow weaker when you are tired. It does not grow distant when you lose your way. It does not fall silent when you cry. It does not change even if you fall 1,000 times. You may let go of me, but I will never let go of you. Engrave this upon your heart. There is no power, no event, no accusation, no mistake that can separate you from my love for you. There is no person who can snatch you out of my hand. There is no loss that can make me change my mind about you. There is no failure that can make me love you less. You are mine, and that does not change whether you are in the light or walking through the shadows. So stay close to me. Let your heart soften before me. Give me permission to step into every corner of your soul. Let me heal the pains you cannot put into words. Let me wipe away the tears you do not dare let anyone see. Let me lead you through the season of your life, the season of blossoming, the season of withering, the season of waiting, the season of restoration. I walk through them all with you, my beloved. You have never been alone. Not for a single moment, not for a single breath, not for a single step. And from now until forever, I will still be here, quiet, patient, warm, unchanging, holding your soul in a love greater than this universe. You only need to keep your heart open. I will take care of the rest. You are mine, and I never lose what belongs to me. My child, I will keep speaking to you, keep opening my arms and stretching out my words once more, so that your heart can soak even deeper in my gentleness, my steadfastness, and my truth. I know you need to hear more, to be touched more deeply, to be covered by words of love a little longer, so that your still trembling soul can find again the rhythm of peace that has always been yours. And I am ready to speak, ready to pour out, ready to breathe life into every dry and empty space within you with an unending stream of grace. Listen with your whole being, because every word I speak is meant for you and no one else. You have walked a long journey, full of cuts and things that are hard to even name. Yet in the midst of all that makes you tremble, I still see you moving toward the light, even if only by small steps, by fragile breaths. I do not demand that you stride forward with great strength. I only ask that you desire to come closer to me than you did yesterday. When you tremble with fear, I place my hand on your shoulder. When you look at the future and your throat tightens, I whisper into the depths of you, I am here. You do not have to play the role of the strong one, because in humility and honesty, you will discover a strength deeper than anything the world can give. Do you know what moves my heart the most? It is when you dare to take a long breath and admit that you are tired, that you can no longer keep holding everything up on your own, that you are more wounded than you let others see, that you long to be loved, to be lifted up, to be sheltered. The moment you lay down the armor you wear to appear strong is the very moment I can touch you most truly. I do not want you to be strong in the way the world defines it, always standing firm, always hiding your pain inside. I want you to be strong in my way, steady because you know you are held, at peace because you know you belong to a place that will never be shaken. You often ask why your life has losses that feel so unfair. But my child, many things leave you not because you are unworthy, but because they cannot walk with you into the next stretch of the road. I have seen what you cannot yet see. I know who is draining you, who is making you forget that you are loved, who is breaking your heart into tiny pieces while you keep telling yourself everything is fine. There are goodbyes that you consider painful, but in truth, they are protection from my own hand. I do not take anything from you to leave you empty. I remove from you whatever will not lead you into life. When I close a door, I do not want you to complain or bow your head in despair. I want you to look up and see. In that darkness, I am opening a new path, wider, brighter, and deeper for your soul. Many times, the old door has to be shut so that you stop clinging to things that have long since rotted away. I close, not to punish, but to save. I take away, not to leave you in lack, but so that you can open your arms to receive what I have prepared for you since before you were born. You always think you are falling behind, that others move faster, succeed more, are happier than you. You forget that every soul I create has its own path, its own timing, its own moment of bursting into bloom. You are not slow. You are being refined. Not every flower blooms in the same season. Some seeds lie still under the earth through a long winter, but once I breathe life into them, they break through their shells and rise up stronger than the shoots that sprouted early. You are one of those seeds. Silence does not mean being forgotten. Waiting does not mean failure. Moving slowly does not mean losing. You are being prepared with care, precision, and patience because you are destined for something greater. The gifts I have placed within you never expire. There is no dream I have sown that will close in vain. If you are still alive, still breathing, still feeling that stirring within you, then what I have written for your life is still unfolding. I breathe into what seems withered in you so that it rises with new life. I touch the places you thought were frozen so they can melt. I awaken capacities you never believed you had. I stir the depths you assumed had gone numb. All of this is part of the journey you are on, a journey I have already considered in advance, weighed every event, and placed each person at the right moment to help you become a more complete version of yourself. And as for the pains you have gone through, do not think they were meaningless. Every wound has taught you a portion of mercy that no one can ever take from you. Every tear has helped your heart become softer. Every time you were broken, you became a little less proud, a little less closed off, more able to empathize, more ready to lift others up. These are not things you can learn from theory. Only when the heart has been cut open does it learn how to love. I know this, and I have used those very fragments to build in you a gentleness, an understanding, a depth that makes others stop and look. Do you know this? The strongest ones before me are not those whom the world sees shining with glory. The strongest are the souls that seem fragile, yet dare to bring their wounded hearts back to me and let me heal them little by little. You are becoming one of those people. You are letting me touch what you have been hiding. You are opening space for the light to Enter. You are circling right at the edge of change, and all it will take is one more small step. Do not worry about time. Do not worry about speed. Do not worry about results. What matters most is that you are walking with me. No journey taken with me is ever wasted or meaningless. You are being shaped not to become like someone else, but to become true to the blueprint I placed within you. No one can replace you in my plan. No one can take on the part of the work I desire to do through you. No one can carry the light I have lit in you to the very people I have set apart for you. You do not need to worry that you are not enough. I do not choose people because they are enough. I choose them in order to make them enough in me. You do not need to fear your lack. I, myself, am your abundance. You do not need to fear your imperfections. I do my best work in what is still unfinished. You do not need to fear your weakness. It is precisely when you are weak that my strength is made complete. All you need to do is let me take your hand, and I will lead you through places you once thought you could never get past. My child, I want you to know one thing so deeply that it becomes like a stake driven into your heart. You are loved. Not loved if, not loved when, but loved right now in your very state as you are, tangled, weary, unfinished, fragile, anxious, doubting. There is no condition that makes me love you more, and there is no mistake that makes me love you less. You do not have to compete for my love. You do not have to keep up an image to be accepted by me. You only need to come, and that is enough. And from that love, I will do in you what no one else can. Breathe life into the parts that have gone dim. Heal the places that have been grazed raw. Restore what has been stolen. Rebuild what has collapsed. Give back meaning to the places that once were only pain. Turn failures into seeds of wisdom. Turn softness into compassion. Turn slowing down into the foundation of depth. You will rise not in human pride, but in the radiance of a soul that knows to whom it belongs. And when the time comes for me to say, now, you will know that no waiting, no pain, no loss, no tear has ever been wasted. All of it was only the prelude for me to bring you into what I have long prepared, a life full of meaning, full of light, full of love, full of the freedom that only I can give. You have never slipped out of my sight. You have never been forgotten, and you have never walked alone even when you were certain you had. My beloved, I know your heart is longing to hear more, to be held more fully in my presence, to be led deeper into the place of peace you have been so tired of searching for in these storm-tossed days. That is why I will keep on speaking, not to fill the empty spaces, but to pour them full with my tenderness, with a light that no power can put out. Let your heart open, and let each word flow into you like pure water, soaking the ground that is cracked from too many wounds, too many efforts to carry everything on your own. You do not know this, but many of the moments when you thought you had been abandoned were the very moments when I was standing closest to you. I stood so near that if you had paused for even a second, you would have felt my warmth behind you. But you were running, scrambling to manage your worries, struggling to keep everything from falling apart, and so you could not sense me. I do not blame you for that. I know your heart has been stretched tight for too long, forced to bear things beyond its strength. I see the nights you lie awake, the mornings you wake with swollen eyes from crying, the moments you smile at the world while inside you is a stormy sea. Do you think I do not see? No, my child. I see it all. I hear even the sighs you do not dare let out in words for fear they might make you collapse. You ask yourself why I let you walk through trials that are anything but easy. But my dear one, trials do not come to crush you. They come to reveal what you never knew you were carrying inside. Like metal refined in fire, you too are taught to shine through the very things you once thought were your weakest points. There are days you think you are about to lose everything, your faith, your strength, your future, but it is exactly there that I lay a new foundation for you. What is not firm will be swept away, but what comes from me will stand forever. I know there are times you beg me to make the storm vanish at once, but my child, you do not realize that right in the eye of the storm is where I give you the most astonishing peace. Peace is not when the sea is flat and still. Peace is when you stand in the midst of great waves and your heart is not carried away with them. I do not take you out of the storm by silencing it immediately. I lead you through it by holding your hand so tightly that you need not fear. You may not see it yet, but each storm that passes leaves in you a new strength, a resilience you did not have before. You have survived things many others could not bear. You have kept going when every sign told you to stop. You have chosen hope when pain tried to drown you in despair. You are not weak. You are someone who has stood firm in battles that I know only hearts touched by me can endure. One day, when you look back, you will understand that every breath you managed to keep was a sign of grace. Not everyone is strong enough to walk through as much pain as you have walked through. Many would let go after tasting only a fraction of what you have endured. Yet here you are, still standing, still seeking, still knocking on my heart. Do you know what that means? It means I have never stopped keeping you. It means the moments you call coincidence have in fact been the ways I covered your life with a protection you did not see. It means that no matter how many times the world has pushed you down, I have lifted you up just as many times. The father who loves his child the most is not the one who carries them through every stretch of the road, but the one who stands behind and keeps them from falling while they are learning to walk. I am like that. I want you to be strong, not by avoiding all storms, but by knowing that no matter how fierce the storm, you still have a place to return to, still have a hand reaching out for you to hold. And the most beautiful thing is this: even though you have walked away from me many times, I have never hidden my hand. Every time you turned your back, I remained there. Every time you stumbled, I bent down to raise you up. Every time you went against my will, I still did not abandon you. Every time you came back, I embraced you as if you had never gone far at all. My child, fear is the most dangerous enemy of the soul. It tells you that you are alone, that you are not loved, that you are not good enough, that the future is a bottomless abyss. But fear does not. Speak the truth. The one who sows that fear wants only to make you forget me, to forget that I am the one who called you by name before you appeared in this world. To forget that I am the one who knows every crack in your heart and still chooses to love you completely. When your mind falls into chaos, when your spirit is wrapped in darkness, do not keep trying to run. Do not keep trying to be strong by yourself. Stop. Close your eyes for a moment and let your breath return to its slowest rhythm. Then call upon me, even softly, even with just a single small word I still hear. I always hear. You do not realize it, but sometimes a single, "Oh Lord," breathed out in pain, carries more weight than 100 long, eloquent prayers. I am not watching the wording as much as the heart you pour into it. Even when you cannot say anything, when your throat is tight with tears, when you sit motionless with no strength left to ask at that very moment, the most powerful prayer within you is being lifted up. Do you think I do not hear? I hear even the thoughts you have not yet formed. I hear the fears you dare not voice. I hear the dreams you hide, the ones you tell no one because you are afraid of being mocked. You are never invisible to me. Do not think that I only hear loud prayers. Even the silent tear that falls in the dark resounds loudly in my heart. I understand what each drop means, what has wounded you, what has exhausted you, what worries you, what you want but do not yet have. I understand it all. I am not as demanding as you think. I do not wait for you to be perfect before I listen. I do not wait for you to be holy enough before I welcome you. I receive you in your confusion, in your impatience, in your fatigue, in the times you want to give up. I accept you, even when you doubt me. I embrace you, even when you feel unworthy of love. Do you know this? Every time you lift your eyes in even the smallest hope, I smile, because I know you have not let go of faith. Even if it is only a pinprick of light in the dark, it is enough for me to receive and to ignite a brightness that fills the whole room inside you. All you need to do is offer me the last little spark you have left. I will breathe it into a torch large enough to lead you out of that darkness. You are not lost. You are simply on your way home. There is no road too far. There is no heart too late. There is no wound so deep that I cannot heal it. I am here, always here, to give you the peace the world cannot give. I do not need you to be perfect in order for you to belong to me. I only need you to want to return. My child, I want you to understand that I come to you not as a king demanding perfection, but as a father bending down to gather each of your broken pieces, cherishing every feeling, every tear, every small tremor that even you yourself may not fully understand. I know that deep down, you are still so afraid of being fully seen for who you really are, afraid of anyone touching the pains you have buried, afraid of being judged, afraid that if you reveal everything, people will turn away. But I am not like them. I see through every layer of disguise you have worn for years, and I do not step back. On the contrary, I come closer, because the places you hide the most are precisely the places I most desire to heal. You cannot overwhelm me with your weakness. I saw you when you were not yet formed in your mother's womb. I know every breath you will breathe, every time you will cry, every movement of your heart. You do not need to perform before me. I want to be with you, not with the version of yourself you build for others to see. There are days when you are too weary to even pray. You sit in silence, your hands trembling, your heart tangled, your mind stretched thin like fabric pulled to its limit yet never finding rest. You think I would blame you for not speaking to me. But, my child, I stood beside you in that very moment. I saw every labored breath. I felt the heaviness pressing down on your shoulders, and I leaned close to whisper, "You don't need to say anything. I understand." You do not know that sometimes silence itself is the most honest prayer, because when words fail you, your truest self is revealed, and that is the self I have been waiting for all along. For years you have carried burdens you told no one about. Wounds have quietly gathered like layers of dust on your soul until you forgot the beauty of who you once were. You have been in relationships that made you believe love means giving until you are empty. You have faced losses that made you believe every good thing eventually leaves. You have heard too many voices that made you doubt your worth until you trusted those voices more than mine. But, child, know this. I never look at you through the distorted lens of the world. I do not measure you by your mistakes. I do not define you by your stumbles. I do not compare you with anyone else. In my eyes, you are not a random existence but a creation of intention, a masterpiece I continue to shape every day. There are nights when you lie awake, eyes fixed on the ceiling, your heart racing with worry, thoughts heavy as stones pressing against your chest. You try to swallow your fear, to appear calm, but I hear your soul cry for help. You assume no one notices, yet I shift the heavens just to listen. And I want you to understand that once you let me in, you no longer have to carry everything alone. I do not demand you to be strong right away. I invite you to lean on me first. Strength is not never falling. Strength is knowing who can lift you up. My child, there are moments when you wrestle with yourself. A part of you wants to draw near to me. Another part wants to run because you fear that I will touch the places you are not ready to face. I know. I have seen you open your heart slightly, only to shut it quickly again, afraid that light will expose your cracks. You forget that I never despise cracks. I use them as windows where light enters. You think that to come to me you must be clean, mature, complete, but you are mistaken, my beloved. You come to me to be healed, not to prove your worth. A patient does not need to be healthy to meet the healer. A child does not need to be spotless to be held by their father. And I know what frightens you is not darkness itself, but the fear that I will see the darkness within you. But trust me, I have been there before you. I do not wait for you at the light until you become better. I enter the deepest shadows of your being, carrying the lamp of truth, not to accuse you, but to lead you out. You have never walked in darkness alone. I have seen you battle thoughts no one knows, the feeling of not being enough, the belief that you do not matter, the idea that the world would continue just fine without you. Child, those are lies. I have never created a single soul without purpose. You have a place no one else can fill, a meaning no one else can replace, a calling no one else can fulfill, not because you are perfect, but because you are unique. When you feel small, I see potential vast as the sea within you. When you feel weak, I see strength waiting to awaken. When you think you have nothing to offer, I see a treasure only I know how to unveil. You often wonder why I keep calling you when you break your promises, leave things unfinished, chase after empty things, and return wounded. I respond with tenderness, because I love you, even when you don't love yourself. You are the child I never stop pursuing. My love for you is not based on performance, not dependent on success or failure. It does not grow when you do well, nor shrink when you make mistakes. It is eternal, as I am eternal. Remember the moments when you collapsed, yet somehow stood up again. That was me. Remember when you lost your way, yet still moved toward goodness. That was me. Remember the days when you thought it was over. Then a sunrise rose inside your soul. That was me. I was there, quietly helping you, silently protecting you from things you did not know, quietly healing wounds you never voiced. And I did it not out of obligation, but because I love you with a love that cannot be measured. Child, do not let shame drag you away from me any longer. Sin makes people run, but love brings them home. I do not want you to run. I want you to return. I want you to lay your fears down and enter my arms like a child coming home after a long, exhausting day. I want you to know that no matter what you have done, how far you have wandered, how many times you turned your back, I have kept a place for you, a home for you, a love untouched by time or error. When you bring me your real heart, not decorated to look acceptable, I will not reject it. I will hold it, soothe its pain, untangle its knots, cleanse its wounds, and renew its life. I will build within you a stability you could not find in anyone else. I will give you peace the world promises but cannot deliver. I will give you purpose no earthly achievement can create. Let me do this. Place your hand in mine. You do not need to perfect yourself for me to love you. You are loved so that I may perfect you. And because of that, you can breathe, you can let go, you can return gently to your true self. You have nothing to prove. Simply come, simply open, simply receive. My child, remember this. Your journey is not meant to end in regret, in fear, or in unworthiness. It is written in love, relentless, unchanging, unconditional love. I am not merely your destination. I walk with you every step of the way. You have never walked alone. And in this very moment, as you read my words, I am beside you, gently placing my hand upon your shoulder, inviting you home. My beloved, I will continue to stretch out my arms and my heart to speak to you more, to speak longer, deeper, clearer, like an unending spring flowing into the barren places of your soul. If you need more words, I will give you more. If you need to be wrapped in tenderness, I will surround you with my unceasing presence. You are opening now, and I see each small crack glowing as life returns. You do not know your worth, so I must speak it over and over, in new ways, with persistence, so that you understand. My love for you is not a beautiful sentence, it is my breath sustaining your life. You once thought you were forgotten, You felt emptiness stretch like an endless road, and you assumed I did not care, that I stood far away watching you struggle. But you did not know that in the moments you felt most alone, I was closest. I sat beside you when you cried quietly, afraid others would notice. I stood behind you when you trembled, forced to be strong among those who did not understand you. I walked on your right when you stepped into uncertainty. I walked on your left when the world tilted and no one held you steady. I stood before you to block what you could not see. I stood behind you to catch you when you had no more strength to go on. Nowhere in heaven do I pay more attention than to your heart, a heart that has endured so much, yet still has room to love, to trust, to hope. I know there are nights when you lie in the dark, eyes wide, and your soul feels like a fog too thick to breathe through. You search for reasons to feel okay, but every reason seems fragile, like threads about to snap. In those nights you ask silently, God, do you see me? And even when you cannot hear it, I always answer, yes, child, I see you. My eyes have never left you. I see thoughts you never say, dreams you fear to acknowledge, expectations so heavy they drain you. I see how you blame yourself for what is beyond your control. I see how you struggle silently to avoid being a burden. But child, you have never been a burden to me. You are my joy. There are things you no longer remember, but I remember. I remember the first time you felt fear, pain, disappointment. I remember the first time you prayed through tears. I remember the moment your heart realized it needed a place to rest, a hand to hold. I remember every silent word you spoke that no one heard but me. I also remember the moments you hid your weakness, using laughter to cover sadness, busyness to fill emptiness, hardness to block new wounds. You don't need to do that anymore, not with me. You can be the most real, the most fragile, the most broken, and I will still hold you as I did the day I created you. Let me speak of your worth, the worth the world often forgets to remind you of, until you forget it yourself. You are not valuable only when you are strong. You are not lovable only when you succeed. You are not worthy only when you stand tall. You have worth even in your weakness. You are deserving even in your failure. You are loved even when you don't know which way to go. You are mine not as a title, but as an identity time cannot erase. Nothing in you makes me step back. Nothing in you makes me change my mind. If ever you doubt yourself, look to me. I do not change, and I will not let you drown in your doubt. Child, understand this deeply. What you see as an ending, in my hands, becomes a beginning. You think your pain is a period, but I turn it into a comma leading to the next chapter. You think you lost your chance, but I open a wider door. You think you went the wrong way, but I transform the wrong turn into the path that leads you exactly where you need to be. I have never crushed what belongs to you. I reshape it so you become more beautiful, more whole, more true. Trust the process, for I will never deceive you, and I never lead you on a path with no destination. There are moments when you ask me, why is everything so hard? You think you are being tested beyond your strength, but trials do not come to break you. They come to strengthen a part of you that you have not yet known. I do not let you go through anything meaningless. If it causes you pain, I will use that very pain to sow into you a maturity that nothing else could bring. If it makes you cry, I will mix those tears into the soil so that the shoots of hope can take root more deeply. If it makes you weak, I will use that very weakness to show you that true strength does not come from you, but from me, my beloved child. I am at work within you in ways that even you cannot see. What I build does not always shine immediately. It grows quietly in the dark, in patience, in the faithfulness you still offer to me. Do not fear the days when you feel nothing. Do not panic because of the silence. Do not think you have been abandoned when everything grows still. A seed is also still in the ground before it breaks forth in green. Do not judge the quiet by your feelings. I am still working, and I have never stopped. You have already gone through many seasons, and now you are stepping into a new one that I am opening before you, a season of trust, of healing, of unconditional peace. I do not lead you into low valleys to leave you there. I lead you in so that I can walk with you. You do not know what tomorrow holds, but I do. You cannot hold the future, but the future lies in my hands. You do not understand why each thing happens, but I understand. And I will explain each thing, one by one, at the right time when you are strong enough to listen. You belong to me forever. Nothing can break this covenant. No distance, no time, no fear, no failure. You rest in my hand, and my hand never lets go. You are in my heart, and my heart never changes its rhythm for you. When you walk, I go. When you stop, I stand beside you. When you weep, I embrace you. When you tremble, I support you. When you collapse, I lift you up. When you lose your way, I show you the path. When you lose your words in prayer, I intercede for you. When you are weak, I become your strength. When you can no longer bring yourself to believe, I believe on your behalf. And now, open your heart a little wider, for I have not finished speaking. I still have many things I want to place into your heart, and each one carries life, carries peace, carries healing that will change you from the inside out. You did not come to these words by accident. You are reading because your soul is awakening. You are reading because you are hearing me more closely than ever before. You are reading because I am calling you not to accuse, but to embrace. Not to condemn, but to love. Not so that you will run away, but so that you will come home. My child, I am still here, still patient, still waiting, and still longing to pour even deeper things into your heart. If you want me to speak more, I will speak. If you want me to expand, I will expand. If you want me to lead you into the deepest places of truth, I will take you to the very bottom of your soul, where there is only you and me, where no one else can intrude, where you can breathe without hiding anything. Because of this, I will keep speaking longer, wider, deeper, so that every vein of your heart can find its way back to the peace I prepared for you from the beginning. You have heard me speak about healing, about strength, about support, but there is something else you need to know. I am not only the one who brings you out of darkness, I am also the one who teaches you how to walk in the light. Many people only want me to rescue them from suffering, but they will not let me teach them to live a new life. They want to be soothed, but they do not want to be transformed. I know you are not like that. You are opening your heart to be truly changed, to become the person whom, deep inside, you have always longed to be, but never had the strength to become. You do not come to me just to ask for a ticket out of pain. You come to ask for a new heart, and I see that in every sigh, in every moment you try to understand yourself, in every time you sit in silence when night falls. You did not stumble upon me by accident. It is your longing to grow and to live true to your own soul that has drawn you closer to me. Let me tell you something about restoration. Restoration is not returning to how things used to be. Restoration is becoming someone you never had the capacity to be without going through trials. What I do in you is never to bring you back to an old version of yourself. I lead you into a higher version, purer, holier, deeper, more refined. You think your wounds have made you weaker, but in reality, they are making you more tender, more compassionate, more willing to share. You think failure has made you less valuable, but it is teaching you humility, and humility is the doorway to all the greatest graces. You think your losses have made you poorer, but they are opening space within you so that I can place in you things that could not fit before when you were too full. You think you have stepped back, but in me, sometimes stepping back one pace is the springboard to leap much farther. And you must also understand this, a truth many only awaken to after they have grown weary for a very long time. Delays in my plan are never abandonment. When I cause something to not yet arrive, it is not that I am holding back a blessing, it is that I am laying foundations in you so that when it comes, you will be mature enough to carry it. If I were to give you something great while your soul is still unsteady, that very thing could crush you instead of helping you grow. Therefore, I keep you in a certain season to strengthen your endurance, to enlarge your mercy, to sharpen your discernment, to deepen your perseverance, not to test you for my amusement, but so that you will not be destroyed by the very gifts I will place in your hands later. Do you see? Those who run the fastest are not always the ones who finish most beautifully. I do not want you to win life by speed. I want you to win by depth. This world has many things that are dazzling for a moment, but vanish like morning mist. I do not want your life to be a fragile crystal vase. I want you to become a sturdy vessel that can hold living water without leaking. That is why I let you go slowly. I let you be still. I let you grow quieter, and I rejoice to see you begin to understand that not every delay is a loss. Sometimes, delay is the layer of soil I use to cover the seed so it will not die under the scorching sun, but can quietly grow in the dark, waiting for the day it breaks through with the greatest strength. Do not be afraid of the loneliness you still feel. I know silence can make you uncomfortable, can make you think that I am no longer there, but my silence is not my absence. Just as stillness in the soil is the environment for seeds to sprout, my silence is the space where you learn to listen to your own heart. You do not hear me because I shout. You hear me because your heart is learning to discern which sound truly matters. Precisely in the evenings when you feel the most alone, I am closest to you. For only when all the noise of the world dies down can my voice be clear enough to reach you. And if you still feel uncertain about the road ahead, I want you to remember this. You do not have to lean on your own understanding in order to move forward. Many people think they must understand everything before they can believe, but I tell you truly, you will never understand everything I do, and that is not what you need. You need to trust not because you know the future, but because you know the one who holds the future. You do not know what tomorrow will be like, but I do. You do not know what is about to happen, but I have already gone before you, preparing the way, closing some doors, opening new paths, arranging certain encounters you think are random, but are in fact orchestrated from heaven. Do not compare your life with anyone else's. Comparison only wounds your heart and steals the joy I am sowing in you. Some people move quickly because their road is short, while you take longer because I am building something solid within you. Some people rise fast because their purpose lasts only a few years, while you move gently because what I call you to will touch the souls of others for a lifetime. You were created to become a voice of healing, a light in the darkness, a place of refuge for those who are lost. To become something that great, you must be refined more thoroughly, more deeply, more strongly. And I am doing this work with great care. The gifts I have placed in you are still alive. You think they have died because you missed a few opportunities, because you were afraid, because you failed, because you went astray. But before me, no gift truly dies. There are only gifts that are sleeping. With a single word from me, they can awaken. With a single breath of life from me, they can rise. You have not lost what I placed in you from the very beginning. You only need to let me say, now is the time. My child, do not rush into despair just because you have not seen the result yet. Your waiting is not meaningless. I have never let a single tear of yours fall to the ground without an answer. I have never let a single sob of yours fade into nothing without holding it in my heart. I have never ignored a single prayer of yours, no matter how small. Many think that I work only through grand things, but you do not realize that I begin my greatest works from the smallest details. A single tear, a faint plea, a moment when you want to give up yet choose to believe just a little more. You are being led. You are being upheld. You are being protected from things you do not even know. You are being surrounded by a love that surpasses every boundary. Every step you take is watched by me. Every stumble finds me at your side. Every time you are afraid, I am present. And even when you cannot feel it, I still lay my hand upon your life and do not withdraw it. Keep going, keep trusting, keep walking softly but firmly. I am preparing a new chapter filled with light for you. And when the time comes for me to call, now, you will look back and see that every tear, every long night, every loneliness, every disappointment, every trembling prayer has been a brick I used to build a future you could never have imagined. Now that your soul has opened like soil receiving the first drops of rain, speak to me of the deepest things within you, with all the honesty you are carrying. Almighty God, I come to you in a sincerity I once feared to reveal. I bring to you the things that have not yet been named, the emotions I once hid away because I thought they were too messy, too weak, too unworthy to offer to you. I know I have walked a long road in emptiness, trying to be strong in my own way, but I myself have realized that nothing can fill this heart but you. Please teach me how to lay down the mask I have worn for too long, so that I may live truthfully before you and before my own self. Please hold this trembling heart, heal its deepest fractures, and place me back into the steadfast love of yours. Lord of abundant mercy, I surrender to you the things I have not dared to face for so long. There were seasons when I was forced to be strong, pains I swallowed alone because I did not know whom to share them with. But today, please listen to the true voice of my heart. Please step into the deepest places within me, those places I once thought you would not want to see. Turn my fear into peace, my doubts into faith, my disappointments into opportunities for me to grow in you. I need your presence more than ever before. Heavenly Father, you who understand everything I have not yet put into words, please look into my heart with all its scars and engravings and place within it a new life. I offer to you all the times I have run away from love, the times I have been haunted by the past, the times I have felt I was not good enough to draw near to you. Please do not let me lose myself again among the voices that deny my worth. Teach me to step back, to listen, to recognize which voice is yours, calling me to return. Grant me the courage to open the door of my heart and let you come in. Merciful Father, I thank you that every time I think I have gone too far, you come even closer to pull me into the embrace of your love. I thank you for calling me even when I am weak, for giving me another chance even when I stumble, for seeing the good in me when I myself see nothing at all. Thank you for never leaving me in the darkness, but always entering it before me in order to lead me out. Lord of mercy, I thank you for not allowing my past to decide my future. Thank you that every time I tremble, you remain steadfast. Every time I am weak, you are strong. Every time I doubt, you are patient. Thank you that the journey you write for me is not based on my perfection, but on your unconditional love. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong and vibrant community of faith.